Hi, folks, and welcome to the live Q&A. I have Brian from the Twin Sons Foundation with me wearing this chic shirt, sir. Can you show that off? Look how nice this is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd have you floor walk, but there's not much room behind us.
Yeah.
Brian has decided to be my gracious host and host it here because the internet at the Sheridan really sucks. I had a lot of problems with it last night. So, Brian, thank you for not only joining me on this Q&A, because it's always fun to do this with another person, but for being the host here.
No worries.
I appreciate it.
We always like having you here.
Can I take your Queen's Gambit game?
No, I hit that already.
Hey, so if you have questions for Brian, go ahead. He's more interesting than me anyway. And by the way, if you're just catching on to this, do not fear. We're doing extra time here. I'll probably have to request that because people won't be signing in until later. Is that the live chat already?
Yes, sir.
Holy cow, never mind.
They're taking off.
You guys are ready. You guys came prepared. Goodness gracious, we've got a lot of people already watching. Okay. All right, well, I'm going to answer the questions from my from earlier this week that people said, and then I will answer your questions you're posting live. First off, Chris says, do you think Tarkin was underrated in Legends continuity, or would you like to read more stories about him? Okay, Tarkin, in a way, stories about Tarkin were in short demand. There weren't that many. In fact, I don't think there were any. About Tarkin's life, there was a lot. There was a huge background with Tarkin. Not only in the Kevin J. Anderson books with Dala, right, but you also had Marvel comic books, the old Marvel comic books.
I'm not as familiar with those.
That gave a backstory. Mrs. Tarkin was in it. Yes. So Tarkin was given, Lady Tarkin, I think was her name, but Tarkin was given a nice background. Now, of course, there could have been more stories. Would I have enjoyed James Luceno's Tarkin story if it would have took place in Legends? Yeah, I would have welcomed that. Any character from the movies.
Yeah.
General Maydean. You know, I'm just coming up with people.
Yeah. General
to explore him further. He only got explored in really one EU book.
Didn't he show up in? I think he was also in one of the video games, Rogue Squadron. Actually.
Oh, you're right. He was in Rogue Squadron too. He was in the video game too. But yeah, sure. Next question. Do you think the Empire was first welcome in the galaxy, considering most planets were probably left in ruins by the Clone Wars? Absolutely, Chris. And here's the thing. I really wish that the expanded universe would have told stories about that.
Yep.
Because the Empire, even though it was evil to its roots, did not start off like that to everyone. The Empire meant order and structure and a time of chaos. And we're talking about the Separatists,
yep,
right? And then the big blow up, the Clone Wars. But it got worse from there. So there are people who, in their minds, the Empire is the good guy. And to be honest, there's a lot of good people in the Empire. They start off good.
Yep. We
read about this in the Rebellion era stories and post-Rebellion era, where they realize the Empire isn't what it used to be.
Right.
But what it used to be, we never heard those good stories.
That's right.
Now that is, I'd rather hear more than just Tarkin. I'd rather hear about, you know, good Empire stories, people celebrating the Empire and how they slowly turned evil over time. In fact, I'm getting into another one. His third question is, do you think the average galactic citizen never knew the Empire was ruthless because of false propaganda? And I would say yes, at the end of the reign, because during the Rebellion era, that's all we read about is these rebel cells on virtually every planet who are fighting to overthrow the Empire.
Right. At
first, Chris, we did not see that. We saw little small cells, and then slowly it festered and boiled into something bigger and bigger.
And as Populous got a good idea as to what was going on over time.
Right, and as the Empire tried to step up and squash them, it just got bigger. It was one of the, Emperor Palpatine, or now that they call him Sheev. It's one of his biggest, it's one of his biggest problems that just kept festering and getting worse. Great questions. Thank you so much for them. Josh says, are there main character deaths in the post-Jedi era that you would disagree with story-wise? If so, which ones? Josh, no regrets. Were there characters that were killed off that I loved? Yes. Were there characters I was shocked that they killed? Yes. Would I take back or change or alter a different one? Never.
You change too much if you change anything like that, especially
Never.
the character deaths.
Now, I gotta say this because he's your favorite character. If they'd have killed off Corn Horn, would you be singing a different song? Because you were a Corn Horn
Depends
fan.
on how he goes.
He
Depends
goes
on
out like a punk. What do you mean depends on how he goes?
like if he went down on Ithor.
He died. He died. He had a heart attack by farming.
Oh no! He's defending the planet.
Okay.
Against the law.
Like what if my favorite Kit Duran had died?
That's a good question.
I would be heartbroken.
Yeah,
I mean
that
that
would
was like,
suck.
luckily my favorite was not a majority favorite, so they but you know what? That wouldn't have saved him. That should have made him a prime death. And when you think about it, he should have died.
All the more
Not
prominent.
that I would ever want Kip Duran to die, but I mean he would have been a prime candidate.
Basically, when Legends is continued, Kip's got to be the first to go. Is what he's saying.
I did not say that. Anyway, but so my favorite character. I know some people had their favorite character. I'm not going to do spoilers here. I don't think. You guys know who died. Some people haven't read it all. I remember there was one character in New Joe Order who died, the big popular one in the middle of the
There's
series.
already a question about that.
All right. Well, we may spoil it later. But she said she cried through her book across the room and never read Star Wars again. And I understand that when your favorites pass away. Would that have stopped me from reading Star Wars? Absolutely not. Would I have said I wish they would have changed it? No. No regrets.
Yeah.
And I know, I'm sure in the comments, people are going, I have regrets. Because there was one big regret everyone hated. But no regrets. What's done is done. I said amen, and I read to the next chapter. I really appreciated that. Next question. He says, when Legends is continued, I love this question. Who do you think will be put in charge of the story? Because I don't think Leland would be able to do it because he's too busy with the new canon. That is true.
Yeah, he's got his hands full. So who would you put?
I would put the same person that Josh said here. He says, by the way, I'd put you in charge if it was my choice.
Well, you got my vote.
I would absolutely love to do it. And you know what? I really do. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Brian. A few other people have said this to me before. Matt, I'd totally vote you into the job. Thank you so much for your trust. Unfortunately, none of you work at Lucasfilm, and Lucasfilm probably doesn't know who I am. Oh, well, maybe.
You might have.
Maybe. I might have some people at Lucasfilm.
Admirers.
I might have some people at Lucasfilm. I might. But I don't think any of them are in a hiring position. So either way, Kathleen, hello. You know, I'm sure she's watching. Yeah, I would love to do it. I don't know who they would put in charge. I would hope it would be someone. And by the way, folks, I don't care who it is, as long as that person cares about Legends and Legends fans. Meaning, sticking to continuity, respecting the fans' wishes, continuing to retcon certain issues, finishing off certain stories, and not pandering to the fans, but delivering solid content in a timely manner that would both make the fans happy and, of course, make Lucasfilm money. Yeah, because I think it would do both.
That's the whole point.
But you definitely want to do both. I think I've already talked about what authors I would put in charge. I love Troy Denning, Michael Stackpole, Kevin J. Anderson. I'd bring Dave Wolverton back. He is the most amazing author I've ever gotten to speak to. I'm a personal fan of Michael P. Q. McDowell. That's because I chatted with him, the first author I ever had a chat with before the internet was big. I found his email address online, and he responded back. He gave me his copy, his omnibus copy.
Oh, that's freaking
autographed
awesome.
It personally from his library.
Jealousy, right?
And I've loved him. I loved him before that. I had to hunt him down because I loved his story. And he said, "Do you have the omnibus hardback?" I said, "No, I couldn't get it because Science Fiction Book Club, that was the first one they put out. Right. No one knows this. It's the first one they put out, and it was hard to get." And I said, "No, I can't get on back order. eBay wasn't that big back then."
Right.
He said, "You know what? They gave me an extra copy. I'll send you mine. What's your name?" I said, "Matt. My son's name is Matt."
Wow.
And so he put it in there. Nice words. Just an excellent man.
That sounds like a good guy to me.
He is excellent. And I would put L. Neil Smith because he wrote Lando. All right. Why does Fate of the Jedi get a lot of hate? I heard a complaint from retcons and other stuff, but I'd like to hear your opinion. Okay. Here's the deal. I don't know why. I can't tell you that, but I will tell you why I believe it did. And Brian, you can say yay or nay.
This on Fate of the Jedi?
Fate of the Jedi.
Got it.
Fate of the Jedi was the last big series that they came out in the timeline.
Right.
I enjoyed it. I loved it. I love the series. Can't wait to talk about it in 5 years. But it was a really good series, and I binge read that series. Actually, that's probably the fastest I've ever made it through a series. So I really did enjoy the series. Here's why people I think didn't like it. New Jedi Order is super dark. We're talking Empire Strikes Back times 10. 2 thumbs up. And then they got some feedback from the fans, and so they let off the gas pedal and Legacy of the Force, which is still good,
right? But not
as dark. And then they got the whole Tim Burton Batman Returns vibe and let off the gas pedal. Still, we're coasting at a decent speed, but without the darkness. Not to say there were low moments in that series. But there was
comparable.
Much less darkness, and there's a well. Anyway, I'm getting into spoilers, but there's a lot of good stuff. One of the best scenes, and people who've read Fate of the Jedi, is when these two are sitting on the steps for lunch. If you know what I'm talking about, it's the best scene, and all the tension that's going on because they're surrounding. It's my favorite scene in the entire series.
Very good ones in there.
And there are other action scenes that are great. There are other moments that are great. But that scene really captured a lot for me. I can't remember who wrote that scene now. I can't remember which book it was in either. And see, that's the problem with series. I get the story
when
of
you binge
who wrote what.
Too, or
binge read too, but I think that's the reason why, because it got less dark. Brian?
No, I think I agree with that. Maybe the villain in it was a little bit too fantastical for some tastes, but I can't really put any solid thought to it beyond what you're saying now.
Okay, Josh, you have another one of my favorite stories. Questions. How do you think all the gatekeepers will react when Legends is continued? Okay, here's what they will say. Quote me, folks. They will say that the EU movement had nothing to do with it coming back. That was something that Lucasfilm always had planned.
Right.
And that we had nothing to do with it.
Everything we did.
And they will ignore the fact that they said it would never happen. That quote, that is exactly what they're going to do, Josh.
I concur 100% on that.
All right.
That's definitely going to be a thing.
Scott, it's Clone Wars, part of Legends as well as canon. Yes, it is. Someone recently told me Legends is not the same as the old EU. I thought it was just a rebrand. It is just a rebrand. Some people don't like the name Legends. I don't like the name Legends, but that is the word for it.
Gotta work with what you got.
Do canon? I love this one. Do canon tiers still relate to Legends? It got me thinking. There hasn't been any official word, and technically, Legends is everything not canon.
Right.
But I would like to say that C canon now exists, S canon, and non-canon. I would like to simplify it to those three.
Down the three. That makes sense.
Because still video games.
Because you can play it.
You can play them different ways. They did happen, but not in the exact events.
Right.
And then you have non-canon goofy stuff.
Right. No, that makes sense to me.
Tag and Bink.
I mean, the story is more or less pretty fleshed out at that point.
If we're not too careful, they may put Tag and Bink into a movie.
Don't. Just don't. That's just a terrible
Who would make a stupid decision like that? Anyway.
Let's not ask questions.
Is Son of Dothamir both Legends and canon? Yes, it is. It seems to be on all the Legends timelines I see, but Dark Disciple is not. That's because Dark Disciple is new canon. I know you're thinking, wait a minute, if it ties into the Clone Wars, would it be old canon too? No, it's not. Dark Disciple is a totally different character for, I forgot.
Voss, was it?
Yeah, Quinlan Voss. He is a different character. You can deny that all day, folks, but John Ostrander, who created Quinlan Voss, said that is not the Quinlan Voss I created.
Flat out different.
You know, I mean, in looks and something that's different characters, and he wasn't upset about that. he said what he's upset about is you didn't even say, oh, hey, here's to the creator of that.
Right.
But it is he did say it was a different character. So it's a different, it just takes place in the new canon. So Dark Disciple is a new canon novel.
Basically the same thing that happens to any Legends character gets pulled into the canon. They're going to be different.
Even Zahn admitted that Thrawn is different. You know, Thrawn still likes art. He's still a mastermind. Right. But he gave him a few more flavors to separate him since he gets a chance to recreate Thrawn. Right. Of course, Thrawn is older now because he starts younger in the series. Because now, instead of growing up during the pre-rebellion era, he's already a Grand Admiral in the pre-rebellion era. Am I right in thinking about that?
I honestly don't know.
I haven't read the new. I obviously
didn't read it either, so I couldn't tell you.
I'm sorry if I misspoke. I take it back.
He has the right uniform.
I'll retract the comment already. I just know. Excuse me. Just know that Zahn was. And by the way, that's been praised by a lot of people too. I'm not hating on that.
That book is actually it's got good reviews.
It's one of their best sellers.
It's by Zahn, so I don't know.
But Timothy Zahn and I've seen reviews for it that says Thrawn is different, and I like that. Yeah. I'm glad we're not reading the same Thrawn.
Right.
I'm not complaining about that.
Right. No, but that's
okay. I'm just saying that is fact.
That's just going to be the way it is for any Legends character to get pulled over. The events that surround them, that made them who they are as we know them, just aren't there anymore.
Okay. As for Clone Wars in canon, I see another story on that later. So, I mean, a question on that, so we'll get to it later. Jay asks a board game question. Have you checked out Hot Shots yet? Do you know what Hot Shots is?
I'm not familiar with
another firefighting thing.
Yeah.
Now, this is the man who showed me Flashpoint Fire Rescue, actually. I played it in his house for the first time. I was like, holy cow.
So a funny thing on that is I got it as a housewarming gift. My friends thought that was appropriate, and I had to give them props for that because I laughed so hard when I opened that.
That was a fun game. I had a fun time playing with him. And I bought it, and I couldn't wait to get home to play it, and none of my friends love it.
Really?
I'm the only one that plays it now. Well, I got a new gaming group, so I'm trying to get them involved.
How can you not like that game?
Oh, shoot. Where's my phone? Oh, it's on the charger. All right. I forgot to tell. Are you friends with the missus?
Yeah, I can let her know.
Let her know. The missus doesn't see me right now, so I tell her if I was on live so she could see my ugly face. And make sure I don't embarrass myself. Good luck with that. Jay, Hot Shots, okay, here's a story. So I got called out for work here in Phoenix, which is where I'm at, live from Phoenix, Arizona, not Louisiana. And I tried to get on a waiting list for BGG tickets because I was trying to get back to the BGG Fall Con, which I hear is just amazing. I went to the Spring Con, but I was on the waiting list. Now, I was so far down the waiting list that they told me the chances of me getting it are slim to none. The day before I left here, I got the email saying my tickets had been approved. I had 72 hours to claim them or they'd go to someone else. And I was like, no! But for BGG Spring Con, I already bought my tickets, and Hot Shots will be on my list, Jay. But I can't play it before then. I don't want, no offense, I don't want to buy it because I already have Flashpoint, which I love. I'm not saying Hot Shots is bad, but I will give it a shot when I get there. I'm just not going to buy it.
And when he does, you'll like it and he'll buy it. Don't worry.
Blackest Night. I'm sure you posted this somewhere, but do you have a P.O. Box address or other address you're willing to give out on your channel? Just message me. Wrote a book that I think you might want to send. You might want to send a copy to me. That's great. I can't promise I'll review it on the channel. I can't promise I can promote your book. I only promoted my brother's book because he's my brother. I'm sorry. I don't take paid promotionals now or ever.
Fair.
Do you know I had an author ask?
Did you?
That too. We'll talk about it later. But there was an author that asked if I wanted to review it. I just don't do that. I will gladly look it over. I can tell you what I think, or I can tell you what I really think. I'm not overly critical, but if you want me to be, I can be in the clearest sense. I won't be insulting you. I'll say, here's what you can do. I don't know if Spencer's on tonight, but Spencer will tell you. I've critiqued, or no, it wasn't Spencer. It was someone else. Someone else has sent me some of their short stories before, and I've looked them over and I've told you what I would change and what I liked, and I think everyone took it well. You should, because I encourage good writing. But yeah, sure. Let's see. Oh, Dark Novia. I saw the video. He showed a video of a person who makes a compelling argument why the Clone Wars can't fit in Legends. Yeah, because of the billion contradictions. That guy in the video is exactly right.
Right.
But here's the fact, folks. Clone Wars, the Filoni's Clone Wars, is part of the canon and Legends.
Yep.
It is. It's already been established that way. And I know a lot of people don't like Filoni's Clone Wars. And to be honest, I've been a little overly harsh. So let me make this statement again. 50% of the Clone Wars was rock solid awesomeness. 50% was rock solid. The other 50% was garbage. I mean, when they were good, they were good. When they were bad, they were awful.
100% agree.
And I've never seen, like, Clone 99, fantastic storyline.
Yep.
Basically anything dealing with the clones I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point of the Clone Wars show.
There were some other good ones too, but then there was garbage too. And when I rewatched them all again, I was making notes and went, oh, actually, and I was doing a tally, and I think it was close to 50-50.
I think it got a little bit more of the episodes towards the middle and end got better.
Well, as the end came, yeah, there were some decent ones then. But the thing is, though, it was almost 50-50 for me. So I come down a little hard on the Clone Wars, but, I mean,
I've only seen it once through.
It's not that bad, and you can make an argument. I mean, we were talking about this today, that Filoni's Clone Wars, and I've said this on the video before, but Filoni's Clone Wars was terrible because if you look at Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, Grievous is frightening.
So good.
And so when we get if you watch, you know, in chronological order, if you watch the Attack of the Clones,
yeah,
and then the cartoon series,
right, which is what I do,
and then you watch episode 3,
yep,
flawless.
Yep. I mean, the ending scene for Tartakovsky.
You are so scared
right
of Grievous. He is intimidating. He is dangerous. You don't even know if Obi-Wan's going to beat him. Now, take away Tartakovsky's Clone Wars. Put in Dave Filoni's Clone Wars. They have beat him a billion times. They've outsmarted him, outmaneuvered him, and now Obi-Wan has fought him 3 times or 4. I can't remember. It was a lot.
Tell you, but it was more than once.
It was way more than once. And so, you know, so Obi-Wan has defeated him several times. So now you watch episode 3.
Kills any of the suspense value for episode 3.
When you see Grievous, he's a joke.
Yep.
He's going to run away when the upper hand's not his anymore.
He's just an asthmatic robot.
Obi-Wan is always going to beat him.
Yep.
And it's anticlimactic.
Yep.
Look at Tartakovsky's Clone Wars. Count Dooku is in it for very little, and he's training Ventress, who is the antagonist,
right,
in the series. Great. And
Ventress job with her too.
Disappears down a hole to kind of put her out of the story.
Right.
Fantastic. If it ended like that, I'm happy. Now, switching out with Dave Filoni's Clone Wars. Obi-Wan and Anakin have fought Dooku twice.
Yep. Once
in the movie and another time in the series. Twice already, all right? So now we get to episode 3, and Obi-Wan says, this time we do it together. Anakin goes, you mean like the last 2 times, Master?
Exactly.
And unlike the first time, because according to Filoni's Clone Wars, we've learned our lesson before.
Well, maybe it was his tone that made him say, okay, we'll be serious this time, Anakin.
We won't, without Ahsoka, and no one's calling you Sky Guy. Anyway, I totally think that's totally dumb. And yes, you could say it's not, but the fact is, folks, it is.
It is.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's completely canon. There's no and legends.
And so, Matt, what about all the contradictions? Again, Force and Destiny, source book calls parts of it propaganda. Hints to parts of it's propaganda.
It doesn't name specific ones wisely.
And I thought it was a nice retcon.
Yeah.
All right. Subtle but nice. Dark Nova, you have wonderful. I love this guy's questions.
He does.
Have you ever read the 1990s Spider-Man Clone Wars saga, one of the most controversial storylines of all time? I'm a quarter of the way through, and I don't understand the hate it gets. Honestly, but I still would like to know what you think if you've read it. Yes, I have read it, and the reason you don't hate it is because you're only a quarter of the way through.
One of those, huh?
The Clone Wars saga by the way, I was a big Spider-Man fan back then. I collected I still have the death of Harry Osborn Jr. I have the Web of Spider-Man cover where he fights the lizard.
That's awesome.
That's a $30 book, probably. I don't think it's that much. I have the first Carnage appearance. I have that trilogy. That one's worth like 15 or 25. Nothing. I'm not rich on these. And I have The Marriage of Spider-Man. That's 1987, whatever. Whenever he got married to Mary Jane. So I have that one too. So I would read Spider-Man. I read the Clone Wars saga. It was fantastic. And switches things around. But at the end, Dark Nova, you will see they do the, no, I'm Peter Parker. No, I'm the real Peter Parker.
Ugh.
No, I'm the real Peter Parker. It's like they just kept throwing different things at you and see, do the fans like this? And they go a few issues. No, the fans don't like this. Change Peter Parker. Change Peter Parker. And then it got to be like, what's the point?
It's easy cop out.
It was a terrible ending, like Maximum Carnage. They beat the dog out of Carnage and Venom back in the 90s. They just made two great characters and then made them just garbage because everything was coming out. Carnage and Maximum Carnage wouldn't have been so bad, but they wouldn't let it die. That went on for like 2 years or something. I don't know. I may be exaggerating there. I can't remember. But I remember it went a lot of comic book issues, and I was like, that's horrible. So too much of a good thing. Imagine if they did Boba Fett 24/7, Boba Fett cartoon, Boba Fett books, Boba Fett comic books. It would kill the essence of Boba Fett.
Right.
And that's one thing I think Star Wars never did was
overexposed.
They overexposed Darth Vader.
Yeah.
In my opinion, they overexposed Darth Vader.
Although,
but they didn't really overexpose, besides errors, they didn't overexpose a specific character.
well, they didn't have to because there were so many.
And you can make it, well, Matt, what about Luke, Han, and Leia? Well, they're the main
Right. Just like
heroes,
Vader is kind of the
Vader didn't make it after the first 3 movies, so
Right.
and they had to keep doing stories about him because his face sells. I have nothing against Vader. I'm just saying. All right. What is your ideal ending for the Star Wars expanded universe for Luke, Han, and Leia? I answered this question years ago, but I'm glad you brought it up because it's been a while. I believe it was a year or so ago. All right, here we go. Han, he's the easiest. I'm sorry. He dies in a ball of flame, but the Millennium Falcon blows up with him. Blaze of glory, because he's the only one who should be behind the wheel. It doesn't get passed down to Jaina or anyone else. It dies with Han. But he goes out, they're sacrificing everyone. That's how Han goes. He's a lone cannon.
It's kind of his heart and soul, so I can see that. Yeah.
Now, Luke and Leia, I'm a little torn.
Yep.
I would like them both to pass peaceful in the Force, but one of them has to do a sacrifice. I'd like Luke to outlive Leia, even though it's probably more conceivable Leia would outlive Luke.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I wouldn't mind that, but I feel like Luke should be the last one of the originals to pass away peaceful. Whoever it is, Luke makes the sacrifice, dies in Leia's arms, or vice versa. And then the other one dies peacefully, disappears in the Force like Yoda. Take your pick. Do you have a...
No, I think that makes sense. It's not a question I really put much thought into because I kind of wanted to let
people
would
die.
Yeah, like
You're not.
I would let it go. I was more one of those people just like to immerse myself in the story as it was happening. I didn't want to try to predict what was going to happen because I wanted to be surprised by it. I didn't want to outthink the story.
Okay. All right. All right. So, what is your greatest Batman stories of all time in your opinion? I actually did this on a podcast a long time ago. I'll do it again. I love Batman: The Killing Joke.
Mm-hmm.
I love Batman: Hush. I think that's closing. That may be number 1 now. I better go ahead and put Hush because I just reread it and it's still a fantastic book. I love Batman: Hush.
If you can reread it and love it still as much.
I love it even more. So Batman: Hush, Killing Joke, which is fantastic. I like Nightfall. I like No Man's Land. I like the Batman Predator series 1, 2, and 3. But if I had to pick one, it'd be the first one.
I think I read Nightfall. It's one of the few comics I actually read.
Oh, Nightfall is wonderful.
Yeah.
Night Quest is okay. I don't like it as much, but Nightfall storyline is fan. I reread that a couple of times every year. Let's see. What else do I like? There's another series I have. Long Halloween is good. Oh, I would not put Dark Knight in there because I hate the art. And I hate the storyline. I love when he kicks the snot out of Superman, but who wouldn't love that? Death in the Family. I love Death in the Family because that's where Batman and Superman's relationship changes in DC comic books forever. They have a respect but an animosity toward each other because, and they build on this because Superman is the Boy Scout who always sees the good in people.
Right.
And Batman is, you know, the
Down to earth.
practical Frank. The glass is half empty.
Right.
And I love it. And it started with Death in the Family when they first had that conflict.
I haven't seen that one.
It's fantastic. So there's a few there. I haven't read a lot of the new stuff, and people are probably yelling out, "Oh, this is good, this is good." But to be honest, from what I gather, those are my favorites. Now, I do have a app on my phone that lets me borrow up to X amount of comic books a month. So I will start reading comic books, but the ones I'm interested in is the 90s Batman, Legacy, Contagion, and Earthquake. And then I'm going to reread No Man's Land again because I thought it was fantastic. So I'll be reading more. So ask me a few, but nothing's going to beat Hush right now for me. I think Hush is amazing. If you ever had a chance to write original expanded universe, what would you write? What would you want to write if you were able to choose one? Okay, I don't know if this is cheating. I would put a series out that happened years after Crucible. I'd want to do it post-Jedi, after Crucible.
That's my favorite area.
I would probably kill off a main character, maybe, at this time. You can't kill Leia off because then Han would go insane. And you have to kill two. Maybe it would be Han. I don't know. If I was to do one. Maybe. I'm not saying I would. I'm just saying maybe I would in a series. But I would definitely have an older Ben Skywalker married off with a kid. And we would find out the name of Cole's father.
Yep. You gotta start.
We would definitely have that.
Start leading to legacy.
Start leading to legacy. It would be the road to legacy.
Right.
I would have maybe an introduction to Jagged Fell in the Empire. We'd be showing him taking over the Empire, what he's doing.
That'd be interesting.
And maybe the formation of Grey Jedi.
Yeah.
With Kit Durden at the helm.
Yep.
Because he is a Grey, in a way, he's a Grey Jedi.
Kind of parallel.
And since he helped mentor Jaina would think of Kip as an excellent person to train his academy. And since Kip's always wanted to do his own training academy, because you know, he goes up against Luke, but
he's always on his own thing.
It makes perfect sense that Kip would be the founder of the Grey Jedi.
Another sect almost.
Yes, mind blowing, isn't it? But I would definitely set up a lot of that. Also, I have a Hutt theory that proved wrong by Troy Denning, but he said was interesting, that I would string a bunch of stories. If you haven't noticed, the Hutts are a hidden threat. Yeah. And there is a conflict with them within the Republic right now from Fate of the Jedi.
Right.
The Fountain.
Right.
Promise. Which is going to shake up. I thought that was leading to something else, but Troy Denning said he has no idea why, what's her name? Who did that one? Who wrote that? Christy Golden. He had no idea why Christy Golden put that in there. He said, I don't know where that was leading to. I said, well, it seems like that was planting the seed for the next series is what I thought it was. So
they're definitely another large galactic presence. And
I would lead
that power. So.
I would lead off that they're a galactic threat, and what we don't even know what their army is. In fact, the Hutt army, their forces are scattered and hidden. Mm-hmm. But what if the Hutt clans all came together and kicked back? You know, if you're pressing in on them, gangsters going to go back, and it would be total. I mean, they would have their hooks into senators, pulling all strings, assassinations left and right in the Senate. It would be mass chaos.
They have power bases everywhere.
And the Hutts have power bases, rivaled only by Black Sun, maybe even connections to Black Sun to pull them in too. Yep. There's a lot of interesting stories I would pull without having to do the Empire and Dark Jedi. Luke would still be on the search for Abeloth to kill. No, the dagger that can kill Abeloth, and on the search for her, and the planet with the Dark Jedi on it would finally. Well, we'd move that story. No, the Lost Sith.
The Lost Sith. Yeah.
The Lost Sith would be wrapped up too, probably in that. I would do a bunch of that, and then I keep doing series and connect it to Legacy.
There are a lot of loose ends that need to be
do this, and then go back through the other timelines, other errors. Excuse me.
That makes sense.
Hit me with my first question.
Well, it's from our favorite person in the world, Dylan.
Oh, by the way, folks, Dylan stayed up late partying and ordering Houston Astro stuff. Please congratulate Dylan. He is a huge Astro fan. Dylan, your team deserved it.
And he has a sarcastic question for you, Matt.
Yes.
Saying, between Matt and Hasbro, who is the worst at making things come out on time? I think it's definitely Hasbro, personally.
Screw you, Dylan. Give me a real question now.
All right, Tanner P. asks, have you ever found it disturbing that Obi-Wan gave Luke Anakin's lightsaber when he knew that Anakin used it to kill children?
That'd have been fun. What's this? Looks like blood of a young. No, nothing. No. Well, I think it was more of a legacy, handing it down. Remember, Obi-Wan. The subtitle, "A New Hope," really plays on this. That Luke is the new hope for the galaxy.
Right.
So he's hoping he will redeem his father's namesake, and that's why he's given the lightsaber. If you're trying to be funny, that is funny. I do think that's funny.
Yeah.
But if you wanted a serious answer there, that's funny. I never thought of that.
Yeah, I didn't even think of it like that either. That's a good point. San Boscom asks, do you think that Ahsoka should have been Plo Koon's Padawan?
Do I think Ahsoka should have been Plo Koon's Padawan?
They did set up a relationship between them in the show.
Huh. I'm envisioning this. Yeah. That would have been cool. They did have a little bit of a relationship. He could have taught her. We could have seen more into Plo Koon.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
I don't mind that one at all.
Wish it would have happened. Wish you would have been on the storyboard group.
Yeah, well, maybe he can be someday.
Oh.
Ooh.
Is there a position in my cabinet open?
Will Huber says, you're looking sexy as always.
Thank you, Will. Thank you, Wilbur. Wilbur.
Let's see. Tanner.
Oh, hey. Will and I. Oh no, never mind. I promise I wouldn't tell any stories on the live Q&A.
Okay.
Will's Bruce from Prince of the Universe. That's his younger brother, Will. I've actually known Will longer than I've known Bruce. I was actually friends with Will before Bruce.
Was that one of the stories we were hearing about?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
I can't tell it on live.
Okay, fair enough. We'll keep it PG-ish.
Not that. I just don't want to embarrass the dude. He probably knows the story I'm telling too.
Tanner asked the question we've kind of already addressed. Do you agree that Clone Wars should be taken out of the Legends universe when it gets continued?
No, it stays in, folks, because fair is fair. Now, what if they said, Matt, what if Lucasfilm put? Okay, this is a big. Let's all pretend. Let's hop in the trolley and go to the world of imagination.
Okay.
And let's say that Lucasfilm hired me and they said, okay, do you want to rip Clone Wars out? Yeah, I would. It would solve a lot of problems. However, then we have the Clone Wars comic book. We have there were
some games on it.
There are some games on it which would be easily gotten rid of.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have some of the comic books.
Yep.
The little digest comic books, and other than that. Then you start getting into a gray area.
Yeah.
Would I do it? Because then we don't have Ahsoka. Well, we only have Ahsoka appearing in some comic books. And in the books, right?
Well, I mean,
No, that was in the series.
If you did it, what would you replace it with?
Yeah, you'd have to replace it. So I probably would leave it in there, but definitely put a retcon.
Yeah.
I think it'd be too ugly to rip that bandage off.
Plus,
it's too integrated, folks.
Plus, there are a lot of fans of it, too, and you would want to.
Yeah, there you go.
Trust, we know what it's like to be ticked off Star Wars fans.
Good question.
Been there,
Good
done
question.
that.
By the way, this is a great setup. He's reading the questions, so I don't have to scroll.
All right, Dylan has a question regarding New Jedi Order. This is where you get in that spoiler.
Go Houston!
Who has the best death in the New Jedi Order? Like I said, spoiler territory. I knew we were going there.
You wouldn't like the answer. It's the Jedi that holds the gate. He slaughters 1,000 bomb.
He does become quite the icon in there.
He dies a Viking death. He becomes one of their gods because he slaughtered so many people.
Yeah.
I know what you want me to say. Oh no, Borskvila. Borskvila, hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down, Borskvila. My bad.
Well,
I just started running through the deaths. He has got to win it.
Say what you will about Borsk, but at least he got rid of Borsk.
When you see that, when you read that, you can see that movie. Are you the no? I'm the corporal. I want to talk to the. I'm the highest you're going to get. Okay. Oh, I read that. I went, what? I was blown away. That's why
I'm blown away. Huh?
That's pun not intended. But that's why, folks, and a lot of people say, can I just go ahead and start with New Jedi Order? I really feel that you should read Bantam first, or you will not enjoy, you would not enjoy that death as much as you would while you're reading it. Yep. If you're just reading the New Jedi Order, you won't care that much.
Right.
But it just is, anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so that's the same question we already had before by
Okay.
Michael. Okay, so Jonathan Cortez asked the question I don't think I know the answer to for you. Hey, Matt, who is your favorite rapper?
I'm trying to think what rap music I listen to.
I was going to say, I don't think I listened to much, so I couldn't even.
I used to listen to Eminem, but I don't listen to him anymore. Back in the day, real Slim Shady and stuff. I have some Snoop on my CDs. I have some Dre, the old Dre,
Okay.
the Chronic. Little NWA. Executioners, built from scratch, but only 2 songs on the album. Let It Bang and something else. I can't remember what the other one was called. I listened to those just recently. I guess that's a few of them. I don't know. A little Ice Cube too.
Yeah, I think I have a couple of his too.
Yeah.
I don't have much rap music myself.
Oh, you
so.
do? Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my. I hope you weren't making a joke. Oh wait, you really listen to rap music. I love everything but country, folks. Everything but country. I love classical music.
Classical.
I've actually, a lot of times when I'm editing my videos, I am listening to the Amazon Classic channel, classical music. I love it.
So Tanner has another question.
Yeah.
This one I think I know the answer to. Would you read all the new canon up to this point to get a new EU book as a reward? I don't think I could, because I wouldn't be giving it a fair chance personally.
No, I couldn't. I couldn't because I don't have the time to waste. Folks, all I want to do, it's not a hateful thing. I don't have an interest in it. Would you read through the encyclopedia? If I mean, there would never be a situation where I'd have to do that. I mean, Lucasfilm calls me up, maybe, I guess, if that's the actual conditions. But you don't want me, and everyone's asked, Matt, will you review this book and tear it apart? Yeah, I could easily do that, but what's the point?
Yeah.
And plus, if there's people who actually enjoy these books.
Right. I don't think I'd tear it apart just to tear it apart for tearing its apart sake. I mean, that's
yeah.
You don't give the story a fair
worth
chance.
it. If you're not going to give the story a fair chance, folks, don't read it.
Yeah. It's not worth your time. It's not fair to whoever wrote it. Let's see, you got a little bit of everything says, I'm traveling for work right now, and the rental they gave me was the Rogue One. They threw up a little in their mouth when they got it.
Shut up! That's Spencer, I think.
Is that Spencer?
Hey, Spence! Where are you traveling, man? Where are you? Please say Phoenix. That would be so awesome. Don't say Louisiana. I would hate you forever because I'm not there.
Okay, so Sam Boscombe.
Hey, if it is Spencer, get in touch with me.
Sam Boscombe says Terry Paxton said she didn't mind the Mortis arc in the Clone Wars. She did mind the way how the author shoveled it into the last Fate of the Jedi book and vilified Anakin for it. What do you say?
Wow, I feel the exact opposite. I despised it in the Clone Wars and tolerated it when they hooked it in. And do you know how that came about? Troy Denning told me this. They were writing the story and they didn't know they had a character, Abeloth, but they always like to tie things into other canon. And the Clone Wars was doing this. And I think they collaborated and said,
makes sense.
Hey, excuse me, can we make you don't have the mom? Can we make this the? I said, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So they collaborated with them to put it in there.
That was
it wasn't something they crammed in.
No.
Now, it wasn't something that they thought about at first. Troy Denning told me it wasn't something that they knew was going to happen, but when they were writing out the story, the Clone Wars was doing this.
I thought it came about pretty organically, considering, I mean.
But see, we're exact opposites. I despise the Clone Wars episodes, and then I thought it was so stupid. And then when I read it in the books, I went, oh, geez, that stupid story.
So you came
across it. But then I enjoyed it.
You came across it in the show first before you came across it in the book.
Well, the show premiered first, and then a few months later, I think the book came out.
Because I ended up reading the books first and went back to the show.
Oh, really?
And because I didn't watch the Clone Wars as it was premiering, I watched it kind of all at once on, I think it was on.
So did you enjoy?
So I think, I wouldn't say it was great or good. It was tolerable, I guess. It didn't really hit me as one of the bad episodes for the Clone Wars show anyway.
Right. Okay.
It made me appreciate the book more, though.
made me appreciate. I liked it for the books more.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's. Thanks for sharing your opinion.
Yeah.
I really do find it interesting.
All right, Quantum Kakarado. I'm assuming that's a DBZ reference. Do you wish the EU could have told more stories about Anakin and Owen together to make their relationship more impactful when Vader orders Owen and Beru's execution?
Yeah, that would have been bad. Whenever I got a young Han Solo story, and you've seen me review them all, it's about his relationship with Obi-Wan, meeting him, getting to know him or some of his friends. I would have liked more of that, but Owen seems to be just a pain in his neck in every mention. And honestly, he should feel a little bit worse for that. So maybe some more moments with them together would have been nice.
26 Snoopy 82 asks, what book should they read instead of seeing the movie coming out this holiday? They phrased it a little differently, but I'm being nice.
What, like EU books? I mean,
They say what book? I'm assuming Star Wars book because I'm sure they're referencing Star Wars, but
read the real Last Jedi book. I don't know. I mean, it depends. You can continue reading the expanded universe. Tell me where you're at, and I'll give you suggestions. For anyone who hasn't started, I always suggest Timothy Zahn. Where do you suggest people start?
If they haven't started yet,
Mhm.
there are so many good places you can jump.
There's
in.
a lot of good places, I agree, but
Zahn is probably the easiest one to say. I don't mind trying to do the chronological approach where you go the Truce of Bakura.
I would
stay away from.
Truce of Bakura.
Yeah,
yes.
Truce of Bakura.
I'm sorry,
talking
I
about
thought you meant
you jump off of Return of the Jedi, go straight to Truce of Bakura.
Gotcha. Truce of Bakura is a fine place to start too.
It's a decent expanded universe.
If they want to start back in the Old Republic, tells the Jedi comic book, but not Dawn of the Jedi. You shouldn't read.
Stay away from Into the Void.
I would highly discourage anyone, if they haven't read the expanded universe, to not do it in chronological order, because I know Dawn, even the comic book folks didn't achieve its greatness. So even that would fall flat.
That's still unfinished too, isn't it?
Yeah, but even on the most avid Star Wars fan, they would not, if that was the first thing they were reading, they would not be interested in that.
I wouldn't suggest that, no.
So the Jedi has some good stuff, though.
So if you're coming off the movies and want to go into the expanded universe, I would go Truce of Bakura is where I would start.
Okay, there you go. Different opinion.
Yeah, everybody's going to have different opinions.
That's fine.
There really are a lot of good places to start.
That's fine. It's not like I'm wrong.
Tanner has yet another question and wants to know if you're going to see Thor Ragnarok, which is out tomorrow, tonight.
I probably will.
I admit I will. My dad's a huge Thor fan. We're actually seeing it next week. So.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited. When y'all? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to see it. I don't know when. Actually, we work right next to the AMC.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like right there. It's
you just walk right over.
It's like 20 steps out from the front door, and so I can go see it anytime on a weekday, and I might do it. I just don't want to do it by myself, but I'm gonna try to grab someone from work who hasn't seen it this weekend. That's how hard is that going to be? But
I hope that it has some good laughs in it.
I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
I'm excited. That's the last movie I'm excited about for the year. I am excited about Thor.
Okay, lots of comments about things that are going on. Valerie says that the character death conversation sounded like it might make a good article for expanduniverse.com, which I agree. That could be
like what characters I wanted to die.
Which one you wanted to die.
I would. Valerie
she specifically says there's so much that goes into character death. Sounds like a good article.
Oh, write it.
Yeah.
If you did write one though, Valerie, don't put spoilers in it.
Yeah, try to avoid the spoilers.
I would prefer spoilers. Chris may say something different, and if so, go with what Chris says.
Okay.
I know this is what I do, right?
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to read the whole question.
I'm glad you're doing it now.
He says, this is Dylan asking
No.
if in post
Go Stros!
If in post-Crucible Luke either dies before Ben is ready or Ben is unable to take the mantle, who do you think would be the Grand Master?
That's a hard question because Fate of the Jedi established that no one can run the council but Luke.
Exactly. They all fail for different reasons.
Can I get an amen with Kyle Katarn?
That would be good. Did Kyle ever? Kyle didn't ever step up.
He never got.
Was Saba? Corian did for a short time.
Kenneth
did.
So yeah, Kyle Katarn.
Yeah.
Even though I think that's why Luke dies last. because Ben will be old enough to take the reins.
Yeah, that makes it the easiest transition.
Yes.
I think I agree with
Which
that.
will eventually fall apart.
True. But
All right.
why? Apparently, I'm getting asked a question: who my favorite blonde characters in Star Wars universe?
You?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna get something to drink. You answer that.
Blonde characters in the Star Wars universe.
Blonde character.
Specifically, what are you thinking? Like Riri, the android. What do you got? Was type who? Tahiri. Yeah, Tahiri. Obviously, I'd be shot if I didn't say Tahiri or stabbed. I'm not sure which with these Twin Sun guys. And there are a lot of good characters that you could name for blonde characters specifically, although I don't know why blonde. But yeah, let's see what else we got. Don't read Legends, love the new. Hey, there's fans of all sorts love Star Wars. Can't fault you for that. Disney destroyed Legends so they could make more movies. Maybe. That's a hard thing to say.
Was that?
If Disney destroyed Legends so they could make more movies. I think it let them, as Matt takes out what's left of his knee, I think it
Just was getting better.
let them do what they wanted to do there, creative freedom. Although I'm not sure they're exercising their creative freedom as much as I would have if I had free reign.
What's the question again? I'm sorry.
It wasn't much a question. It was an observation.
Okay.
I think Disney destroyed the Legends so they could make more movies. So it's destroyed the expanding universe.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it was, but it smells like fruit punch. I don't know what they put in my refrigerator, so good luck on that.
Were you saving this for dark?
No.
Okay.
Have that. I had a few earlier.
That's a Stranger Things 2 joke there.
Does white fruit? Okay.
I love you.
Are you into answering political questions on your Q&A?
Bring it!
All right, here you go.
Nothing's off limits.
Jonathan Cortez asks, does white privilege exist in today's world?
All right.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. Oh, you better be glad I'm not at my house. Dylan gets that. I made a joke. Well, actually, I talked about this in October for Yevno's Halloween special. We live in a world of ghostlings, right?
Yep.
That was mainly pointed toward the expanded universe.
Right, but it applies elsewhere.
But it applies everywhere. I really don't care how many people I piss off with this answer. My ideals and beliefs are different than a lot of people, but there's a lot of ridiculousness and silliness in this world, and there's a lot of unnecessary panic where the media does any and everything to make you mad and stir you up over nothing.
I mean, you don't have to look any further than just listening. They put, theme music to their stories these days just to try and get your emotion more.
Yeah, Donald Trump is going to end the world. Not likely. Because Obama was going to do that. George Bush was going to do that. And I hated both of those guys, too. Oh, that's right. I hate Bush and I hate Obama. So the thing is, with all the white privilege, Black Lives Matter, stuff like that, they need to chillax. Because what they do divides further. Divides further. I don't care what you say.
Completely.
They're nothing, and it just divides us further. And actually, let's take the World Series for instance. The Houston Astro player, as a joke, joking around, did the eyes for Yu Darvish.
I missed this.
Okay, it was in one of the games. They did the squinty eyes signal just briefly, but it just, oh, how dare he? How disrespectful. You know what Yu Darvish did? He poked back at Twitter. It was fine. It's cool. You laugh. And I was like, you know what? I'm so glad baseball is an example of what to do when you have common sense in the world.
Right.
And I'm glad common sense hasn't left the state of baseball. It has totally gone bonkers in the NFL.
Yeah. There's no
okay.
there.
I'll tell you that. You want to hear about my comments? I don't like the NFL. Okay, so I am biased about that. But this whole kneeling at the national anthem, okay, you can have your complaints. You definitely can have your complaints. You definitely stand by your beliefs.
Right.
But there's no way you disrespect the flag. I mean, that's I mean, my grandfather fought in the war, and so did several other people, and these soldiers protect our country, and
Yeah,
it's just showing disrespect for the country. You're upset because
whether you're
someone's
right,
president or something happened. Okay, that's fine. You protest all you want.
Right.
You don't disrespect the flag.
And that's what it became about. Because,
I mean, I got in trouble as a kid if I didn't. I was supposed to stand up.
Yeah, you better stand up and
you better take your hat off.
That's right.
Too, my dad's like, get your hat off.
I mean, that was a thing up until I was in high school, 2004.
It's a sense of respect, okay? What if I burn a flag because I'm mad at something? Does that mean I'm protesting? There's other ways to protest without disrespecting our country.
Sure, certainly much more intelligent ways to protest.
That didn't answer his question at all.
Ineffective.
I think people are ghostlings. Not everyone.
It's large.
I think they let anything break. And we're a nation that tries to get John Schneider. Actually, I asked him a question similar to this about people today. He said John Schneider just assumed that there's people today feel like they have to get angry about something.
Yep.
And so they bring up an issue that has nothing to do with anything, get mad. Folks, we're not far from Vegas here. Vegas had the shooting, awful stuff. Gun live here. Sorry, going live. All right, hold on. Stop. I think we're back.
I think we're back.
We'll see if we're back. I'm sorry about that. That's my fault. That's not Brian's. Obviously, I need a wireless. What's it called? Wi-Fi card.
Yeah, Wi-Fi card.
Wi-Fi card. Because mine found this out a few weeks ago. It's been blinking out at my house, and I just thought it was just Comcast, my bad internet service, but obviously it's not. So they can see us and hear us.
I'm assuming so.
Someone say so. You're back.
You're
All
back.
right, good. We are back. It's good to be back.
Now I gotta
Hey, can I say the joke?
Yeah, you can say the joke.
I don't know who said it, but we were reading and laughing.
Quantum cockroach.
Okay. What was it?
Quantum cockroach.
No. What was the joke?
Okay, so somebody was asking for a joke, and then where'd it go? Why couldn't the child watch the pirate movie?
It was rated R.
That was good. That was good.
Dude, that is my kind of humor, man. I'm telling that joke tomorrow to my class. That is funny, dude.
All right, where were we on the questions here? I thought it was a question about the Death Star. Is it right, Fruit Punch? I might have to try it. Has the EU ever explained why the Death Star's weakness exists?
Yes. Didn't they do that in the novel Death Star?
I actually don't know. Did they?
Yes. No. Kevin J. Anderson's. Didn't he do that to Scorn Tarkin or Dalek for?
I thought so. I thought it was something like that.
Yes, I think it is. I don't want to ruin it for you. Someone will tell you in the comments, and they'll probably.
I'm sure they did. We have.
It was either in Death Star, but it could have been in Kevin J. Anderson's books. I can't remember, but yes, I believe they did explain it. Go for it.
All right. Okay, so Artie McFly must be asking from one time in the future, or would be past or future Artie McFly.
No.
Don't know. Oh. Who would win a battle if both of you were Sith Lords? I don't know. I do have some expertise in stabbing things.
Brian.
Channel my. Hey,
I'm not gonna trash talk him.
He's smart. He doesn't deal with social media all the time like I do, so I have a lot of rage.
Hey now. Hey, it's been a while since I've had an EU hater come my way.
Okay. Michael wants to know how we feel about bringing Knights of the Old Republic back to the Xbox, the most recent console, and do we want a KOTOR 3 series?
Do you, as a video game question? I don't care.
I think it's great to have an old game brought onto a newer system. I understand they improved the graphics for the newer system, which is meaning it's more accessible for newer fans. So that's always a good thing. And I wouldn't mind seeing a KOTOR 3 at some point, but they kind of already did it with the MMO that they came out with. So.
Okay, there you go. Next one.
Favorite song.
We're gonna catch up with all these.
Favorite song from the Gorillaz.
I can't remember. There is a song I like of theirs. It was an old one.
Mm-hmm.
What was their famous song?
I can't remember either because I'm thinking about it. And I know I've only bought one of their songs. Who was that? I can't remember.
Right now, I'm listening to something on Amazon Music, so I don't want to search on it.
Okay. Artie McFly wants to know, with your own choice of 2 force powers. Okay, so that was for. He wants to know what 2 force powers and 2 lightsabers each for the Sith Lord thing. 2 force powers.
2 force powers?
You gotta have
what's it called? Where I can push telekinesis. Yeah.
Telekinesis.
I want where you can twirl your lightsaber blade around and it works like a helicopter to fly me around.
Okay, see, if you did that, I would lose because I'd be laughing too hard to focus on any
force battle ever. Which lightsabers would you have?
No.
I would have straight ones. I wouldn't do the curved handle or. Do I want one that looks like the Highlander? No. Has a cross guard.
Mine has the Master Sword from Legend of Zelda cross guard. I don't know.
Then now I win. I changed my answer.
Okay, so let's see. What else we got? We got lots of comments. Lots of comments. Favorite Legends only lightsaber hilt design. Legends only lightsaber hilt design. They have a different variation on the crossguard, which I thought was good.
I thought Lobaka's was pretty neat. Wasn't Lobaka's made?
Tenel Kaz.
No, Tenel Kaz. You're right.
Rancor 2.
Yeah, that was cool. That's what I was thinking about.
That was pretty nice.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay, continuing on, Tanner wants to know, what era would you live in the EU with full knowledge of what will happen? Full knowledge of what will happen.
Full knowledge of what will happen. Post Jedi, and it would be Endor because nothing happened after there, and I just hang out with Ewoks. Boom!
Matt would have fun with his Ewoks.
I would. I would have a blast. All right. Next question.
Next question. I'm not reading that one. I think I actually skipped that one already. What era? Let's see what we got. I'm all the way down here.
Okay.
Dark Disciple. Have either of you seen Blade Runner 2049? I have not.
I have.
Have you?
I thought it was good. Unfortunately, no one else did. I thought it was great, actually. I gotta admit it's better than the original. It has an awesome twist that makes you slap your head that you didn't see it before. I love it.
That was Blade Runner.
That movie is super smart. I love that movie.
Might be one I have to watch.
It has to be one. Did you see
Add
the
it to
original?
list. No. I know. Isn't that sad? Do you
All right,
see it
have
over
fun-
there?
Have fun with the rest of your day.
Will you see the Justice League movie?
Unfortunately,
I probably won't for a while.
I don't want to, but I have to. A friend of mine. No, she wants to see it,
Ugh.
but I don't want to see it. And I love DC. I love DC. I love more than Marvel, but I gotta admit, DC's movies suck. I'll watch it. It looks totally stupid.
I'm not sure what that question means. Sorry, Michael. How do you feel about Sweden are taking their own direction, creating more Star Wars comics from their entertainment as respective Star Wars fandom?
Don't know.
I'm not sure what's going on with that one. Snoopy 26 Snoopy 82. Matt, have you seen of the old game called Boardwalk? Came out in 1985. His brother has it. So an old game called Boardwalk.
Yeah. It's a Monopoly kind of spinoff.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. I don't have it, but
Played it?
a long time ago. I don't remember it that well.
How do you feel about plans for the Star Wars themed land and hotel for Disney parks?
I don't care.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way.
I mean, it's fine that they want to make them, but I just don't.
I like Star Tours.
It's new canon, and I don't really care.
I like Star Tours.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll give them that much. I'd like Star Tours.
Star Tours is actually EU.
Yeah.
It is.
I liked it. Do you think? Okay, so do you think there are no more Star Wars comic legends, or do you think they are still continued? Well, they aren't continued right now, but hopefully they will be.
Yeah, hopefully they will be.
Let's see. We got lots of comments.
Good. We can get through these faster.
Yep.
I'm not in a rush either. I promise y'all extra time, and then when we blew 15 minutes there, it's got to be more than that, I guess. How long have we been on?
Have I watched any of the new Star Wars films? I have not. I'm one of those people who's not going to see it until they give Legends a chance to continue. That's just the way I feel about it.
That's a good question.
I might see it eventually if they. Okay, let me put it this way: I will give it a chance if they announce that Legends is going to be continued. Like, it has to be an official announcement, though. Is that fair? I give it a chance, and I'll give them a chance. Is that fair?
That's fine. He has a 58 pillow in his room.
I do not.
He has a Lego X-wing in his windowsill.
That I do have, and it's not from the new canon.
The first time I came by his house, I was like, "Dang, is this right?" And then I saw the X-wing in the windowsill. I was like, "Yep, this is right."
Do you think the Eternal Empire could have survived close to the prequel era, or do you think they were defeated in the Old Republic era? Because there's no mention of them beyond the MMO, and that era takes place so far ahead of the movies, I think it was probably ended pretty long time before.
I agree.
That's the only thing that would make sense. Kind of one of those erased, lost to history things.
I agree.
Contribution. Do you think we can get more Star Wars Knights of the Fallen Empire and Knights of the Eternal Throne comic or novels to be continued? I think that's an easy way for them to make new Legend stuff.
I don't think they'll do it, but
I don't think so, but that would be an easy way for them to do it.
True.
I mean,
I wouldn't be opposed to it either.
No.
That'd be fine.
And they do the short stories still.
Every blue moon. Yes.
Yeah.
They haven't done one in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. They're due for another short story.
They are.
All right, Chad. Let's see. Hey, we're getting to the questions, Dylan.
Go Astros!
What's your opinion on Bob Kane versus Bill Finger? I'm not familiar with those names. Do you know those names? Bob Kane versus Bill Finger.
Where is it? Where is it?
Right
Let
here.
me see the names. Bob Kane.
Yeah, Bill Finger.
I don't know Bill Finger.
I'm not familiar with either. You guys heard the news about the cinemas boycotting The Last Jedi due to Disney asking for huge sum of cash from ticket revenue. I did hear about that story.
Yes, and you know what? It's been boiling. This was out last year too. Cinemas are fighting back. Disney is asking
65%
of the box office, but you have to keep their movies in the big cinemas.
4 weeks.
I thought it was 6.
Was it
But
6 weeks?
either way, they're asking for more time than a regular movie asks, and they're asking for more of the cut.
And for consistent, because my dad used to actually manage a building where there was a theater, and he found out that the movie theater gets more of a cut as time goes on. The movie's in theater longer, so
Yeah,
it sounds like that's not going to be the case.
But well, not with Disney movies, and Disney knows they have a monopoly right now with Marvel and everything. But cinemas are starting to fight back because they're hurting on money.
Yep.
And so every time you take money away from them, and I think they would have to bow down because that's the thing that everyone wants to see.
Right. Yeah, they're in a tough spot, especially.
They're in a very tough spot, but they need to watch it because a lot of cinemas are going to be closing.
Right. Well, they just around our area, I know we've lost probably 4 or 5 in the last few years.
Yeah, cinemas are starting to close now, and movies are going to start losing the places who distribute them. And once you need one big chain to stand up against them.
Yep.
And I think the dominoes will start to fall.
Because already the smaller theaters just can't do it.
Yeah.
They just can't. So, yeah. Bad
But you
situation.
need one big chain to fall, and then the dominoes will fall on that.
Agree. That's bad situation. How many Star Wars fans have driver's licenses? I would imagine there's quite a few.
Like the majority of them.
Yeah.
We have young fans, but
Yeah, I mean, there's always newer fans coming in.
there'd be more 18 and older than
I won't give Dylan a hard time for this. He actually did deliver those books to the Children's Hospital of Orange County last week, so that was pretty good.
Oh,
Hopefully
there's more
more.
now.
Yeah.
Way more.
Yeah. Thoughts on the Keaton Batman films?
I love Keaton Batman.
It's the first ones I saw.
Adam West is my Batman, but Michael Keaton is a great Batman. The missus loves Michael Keaton as Batman. That's her favorite Batman.
That was the first time I saw a Batman film was Keaton.
Keaton's great. It's not who plays Batman, folks. It's who plays Bruce Wayne.
There you go.
And Keaton played Bruce Wayne well.
He did it well.
He did.
Let's see. Final question from Jonathan. Double Toasted Podcast. Have you ever heard or listened to the Double Toasted Podcast, which is run by the host that used to run Spill.com and its podcasts?
No, I haven't. I don't.
I'm not familiar with that.
There's only one other podcast I listen to. It's a friend of mine's. And not because I just don't want to or I don't think they're good. I just don't have the time.
For Shadows of the Empire, from a little bit of everything, they're asking what we liked more, the comic, the novel, or the game.
Novel? I mean, is there...
He's all for the novel.
Okay. What would there be? I want to know, would someone prefer the game or... there may be a few people who would prefer the game. I heard a lot of people like that game.
Game's pretty good.
I played the game. The game is good. But would it be better than the book? That's an interesting question, though. Would you like the I don't think anyone would pick the comic book. But would you pick the book or the soundtrack over it? I like the soundtrack, actually. I have the soundtrack.
We gave away a bunch of those soundtracks at Celebration.
Shadows of the Empire?
Yeah, that was one of our raffle prizes.
Okay.
I wanted to keep one, but I couldn't.
I would have kept one.
They wouldn't
Those
let
things
me.
are awesome. Those are hard to find.
Jerks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have gotten novel 2 on that, although I did love the game, and I played the game first.
Okay. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Before reading it.
Yep. Did you like comics and or movies by Kevin Smith? I have several people, I must have heard several people that hype him, but I was never able to get into Marvel Knights or anything by him. On top of that, he's really hated in fandoms.
Oh, yeah, he can't really write a comic book that well. I agree with that. He loves comic books, but he can't really write very well. He doesn't understand a comic book character's feel. he puts his spin on it, which I understand. I get it. But it's not, his comic books aren't very good. His movies, some of them are really good. Some of them are really good. Clerks, Mallrats. Mallrats is actually my favorite. Even though a lot of people hated that one. I thought it was funny.
Do any one of you collect Star Wars vintage car accessories?
No.
I don't know. We got
Car accessories?
car accessories.
Weird. No.
Quantum Kakarot, are there any comics you wish had novel comic counterparts? So Dark Empire, Crimson Empire, etc. So things that were comic only that would have had novel as well.
I think all those are great suggestions. Dark Empire, Crimson Empire, Tales of the Jedi.
I agree.
To be honest, I think what's the New Jet Order comic book? Invasion.
Yeah,
would have been
Invasion.
better as a book and probably would have fit better.
It's one of those things I need to actually pick up a copy of. Let's see, we got favorite Disney animated movie.
Oh, easy. Emperor's New Groove. By far.
Was that Disney?
Yes. Yes.
That was hilarious.
Fantastic.
That was hilarious.
David Spade, John Goodman. I laughed so hard. I went and bought. It's one of the 2 Disney movies that I own. I think. Well, Disney animated.
I think I'd be between Hercules or Mulan.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
That's surprising. I love that one, and I love Song of the South. You can get it, but just to be equal. But it's a fun. I love the music from Song of the South. I love the animation. I love Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, and Brer Bear. I think it's fantastic.
All right.
Splash Mountain is one of my favorite rides too.
I think you've probably answered this one before, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you got to choose, who would be your Jedi Master to teach you from Legend?
Who?
Who?
You tell me, and I'll tell you yours.
Well, his is Kip Durn. So
his is Corn Horn.
There you go.
Bar none.
And of course, we'd be at each other's throats like the Masters were.
Yeah, I'd win.
You think so? You already said you'd lose to me as a Sith.
Don't ask me who would win in Kip and Corn, because we could debate on that. Someone's going to ask it. I think Kip would win because he's a gray Jedi, and he would go a step further than Corn would. So in a way, he would fight dirty to win.
You'd probably be right.
Even though Corn is stronger.
I think you'd probably be
Corn is stronger, Kip would win.
What Star Wars planet would you live on?
I already answered the Endor.
Endor?
Yeah.
Let's see. What do you guys think of Mercedes-AMG Benz are doing, taking some of the DC Comics superhero films and supporting each other's campaign?
I don't know.
I'm not familiar with that.
Cross-promotional things, that's fine. I don't care.
Do you ever think about what would happen after the dark side ending of The Force Unleashed? Do you think Starkiller created a clone of Vader so that the prophecy could still be complete?
A nice theory, but no. That's a nice theory. I don't think it would be something to pursue.
Man, it's been a while since I played that or read it. Force Unleashed.
I really wish they would have finished Force Unleashed and done 3.
That would be nice.
I do wish that. And it was a good story.
Favorite horror film? I don't really have one.
You don't like horror?
I'm not a horror fan. Unless there's comedy involved, I
The
suppose.
Conjuring, if we're talking scariest, The Conjuring, Grudge, and if you want to go classic, Halloween. There.
Classic.
I love Fright Night. And we were supposed to do a double feature before I left, but everyone was too busy. Fright Night! Love Fright Night.
26 Snoopy 82. I read the Thrawn trilogy. What book should I read next with Leia and Luke? What would you recommend? So through the Thrawn trilogy.
Okay, now I would go back and I'd read Tears of Korra.
That makes sense.
And then I'd read Courtship of Princess Leia. There you go.
Somebody's spoiling stuff in the comments here.
Boo.
Boo! Boo on you, sir. Do you have any set of guidelines for fans trying to write fan fiction of Star Wars? I don't think so. Oh, I missed one.
Let me answer that. First off, Valerie wrote that. I can't remember the title.
You're right. She did write that one.
Which is very good. She's going to write more. Read those. I actually I just submitted
Did
my
you?
story to Joe
Did you?
last night. Yeah. Even though I'm kind of hesitant to do that because I don't want to print out because I wrote it back in 2010 before I even started writing. So I don't know how good it was.
Early writing
One of those
projects.
early writing projects. It wasn't too bad if I recall, but I didn't have time to reread it. He just found out about it, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll send it. So hopefully he doesn't tear it apart. Well, I don't care if he. I can take criticism, fine. So he can tear it apart. But anyway, what guidelines would I put forth? If you want to know how to write, Stephen King's On Writing. It's called On Writing. It's pretty good. It's not going to teach you how to write, but he's going to give you tips without going to a writing school. Kevin J. Anderson has a writing school that takes place in Colorado every year that I hear is fantastic. And if you're good enough, you will join his group.
Really? That's interesting.
Yes. So that's interesting.
Stackpole and Zahn do a regular panel at Phoenix Comic Con, I know, on writing.
And they do one at Dragon Con. And Dave Wolverton, what's his other name? Dave Farland is his other name. Actually, that's his real name, Dave Farland. He just pen name was Wolverton. Dave Farland does an intensive, only 6 people allowed at Gen Con, and you get to spend the entire day as he goes over your story and focus and critiques and gives stories. And I bet that it's worth all. It costs a lot. I think it's $150 for the whole 4 days.
If you're serious
5
about
days,
writing, though,
I would do that.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah, I'd be all over that.
Most of the time. But
he probably wouldn't teach you much then.
Probably. Especially get away from me. No, but simple this. Read good books. Read not only just the story, but read how everything sets up. There's a lot of description. There's a lot of character building. Read and look at those things. Go back over your favorite stories and read those. Look at the pacing. Look at the arcs. Look at it not from a reader's point of view, but from a writer's point of view, and it changes it. That's what Stephen King said. But you do that, and you basically can learn a little bit. That's how I started to learn a little bit.
How would you rate
my
this?
first novel, short story, Return to Endor, sucks. My second one looked a little bit better because I had started to read more and point out, oh, this.
Well, it's one of those
so be
constantly
descriptive,
right.
and in fact, the best, I don't know, Valerie's probably shaking her head and going like this, Matt, you're an idiot. But work on descriptions. Write what your room looks like.
No, that's actually an exercise they taught us in creative writing classes.
Okay, they did.
Yeah.
Okay, go outside and describe the area. Go to the park and describe people as you see them and what they're doing.
It's very important.
And then read it and see how well you did describing it. Those little exercises will really benefit you in painting a background and then building a world, because you got to talk to the audience.
That, and you got to get a good sounding board, somebody who can give you some real constructive criticism, telling you not only what you're doing right, but what you're doing wrong as well. And
use characters that you know. Use people that you know as characters. Or is someone always too hot-headed? Does someone have a nervous tick?
Make sure they change their name, though.
Well, yeah, but and I mean, all this I learned because I sit in Stackpole's some of his lessons at Dragon Con. And so you do that type of stuff, and slowly you'll get bits and pieces.
Yep.
So it's a fun time, and go to Comic Con if these guys are here and sit. And I mean, Comic Cons are everywhere now, and a lot of authors come to these and they do these seminars. Now, depending on who it is,
they might charge.
But definitely, if it's a Stackpole or a Farland, go for it.
Worth it. Always worth learning from the masters. Did it annoy you how much more mature Anakin acted in the Clone Wars animated show, I'm assuming, so soon after the Attack of the Clones movie? There was a little bit of a character difference there. I can see how that would be.
Yes, but we have to make an arc somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes, I see your point, but we have to propel him toward who he is in Return of the Sith. You're saying, well, Matt, he was, immature in Return of the Sith too.
Revenge of the Sith.
Obviously, Revenge of the Sith. I'm sorry. Yeah. Obviously, he wasn't that immature, or he wouldn't have even been considered.
Right.
I mean, they would have laughed him. I mean, no matter who the Emperor is. But obviously, I said, well, he is doing really good. Yeah. Anyway.
I think I scrolled past the next one.
Sure.
Nope, that was a comment.
All right.
Keep on going, keep on going. Question marks are helping things pop out. Matt and Brian may recommends Grubius Pip. He's a British rapper, but started in spoken word. He's deep.
Tony, why didn't you text me back? That question for Tony. Why didn't you text me back? Hold on. Watch this. Why didn't you text me back? Question mark. All right.
Bill Atkins is making a comment here. Nissan Rogue, question mark. Twin Sons was supposed to have one of those when we went to Celebration. Fortunately, when we got there, there wasn't any. That's not true, Bill. There was one in the convention hall. No joke.
By the way, my wife loves the Nissan Rogue.
Oh, yeah, I hear
The Rogue One.
I hear she does love that Rogue One. If she's watching this, she's gonna slap you when she sees you.
That's funny.
Okay, Anakin's ghost showed. Okay, no, that's a question for somebody else in chat. Lots of comments back and forth. What's your favorite clone trooper? Laura Nimbus. Clone trooper.
Why do I keep touching you like this? The guy.
I like Sev.
I know. Hold on.
Scorch is hilarious.
He
too.
was in. Oh my gosh. This is why I can't do these when I'm away from my library. This is the point where I look at my library and go, aha.
I might
Who
have
is
it over
in?
here.
No. It was a children's.
No, I don't have it then.
It was that children's series by. Doggone, I can't think of anything. I can't remember. What's his name? Ryder Wenham.
Ryder Wenham.
Black Hole Pirates.
I
That
don't
story.
know.
I can't. There's a clone trooper I thought was really cool. Go ahead.
Help you on that one.
Sorry.
How much of any of Stranger Things have you watched?
All of it. I think it's I think that show got even better in the second season. I didn't think it would. I didn't think it would, and it did. I friggin' love that. I think that show is genius.
I hear it has a good story.
It's fantastic. It's amazing.
Almost caught up to the part where we lost him.
Oh no.
Actually, it is where we got to the part where we lost him.
Good. We can skip over a lot.
Okay. Buffering. Anybody know a good joke? Do you know a good joke? We got the R joke. Pirate.
I can't beat the R joke.
I can't either.
Okay. A guy came into a psychiatrist and he was naked and wrapped in cellophane. And this, and the doctor said, "I can clearly see your nuts." Yeah,
that was good.
It's not as good as R, man.
No, it's not.
That's really funny.
All right. What else we got? Okay, let me see. Was the Death Star nuclear reactor wise? What? Death Star nuclear reactor wise? I don't. What?
I don't know.
No.
Next question.
Next question.
Next question.
How long will this live stream carry on?
As long as I want it to tonight, because I got fruit punch cola.
Oh dear God, what have we done?
I'm not the great Cornholio yet.
Didn't Tenel Ka's lightsaber explode? I don't remember it exploding.
I don't remember that either.
I don't make disarming jokes.
No. Tenel Ka's lightsaber didn't explode. She built it too fast and it shorted out. And that's how she got her arm cut.
Okay.
It didn't explode. Remember? It didn't, did it? It just faltered out because she put her crystal in there and it wasn't set right. She just wanted to fix it faster than anyone else.
Valerie, the dark jokes are all Dylan. That is not me. Let's see what we got. They're kind of discussing the Rancor 2 lightsaber.
Good.
Okay. What else we got? Other questions?
This is fun. He gets to do all the hard work, and I get to sit here like a diva.
Make your comments. Which Jedi purge do you think was the most devastating in the EU?
Was there more than one?
There were several. There was at least, I can think of at least two. Do you want to count the one where there was a thought bomb? How much damage did that do to the Jedi Order?
Oh, yeah. I would say Vader's.
Probably because it seemed like the most
Because
effective.
everything was just destroyed. I mean, Thought Bomb happened all at once. No, I would say Vader's. Well, we don't know. Legacy was pretty heart wrenching too,
That was pretty
because
bad.
their world was destroyed.
Yeah,
But that's on par with Vader's.
that was pretty bad.
But Legacy was pretty sad.
Legacy was pretty sad.
Legacy to me seemed more desperate. I mean, desperate times and you know, just heartbreaking because the Republic's down to just one ship now, right? Star Destroyer and one army left or something.
Something like that. It's
So
ridiculously
maybe
pathetic.
that one, maybe Legacy. All right.
Okay, sorry. Where was I? That was that one. Okay. In terms of recruitment for the EU movement, we could get the folks at the Coldaholic to help. They left what culture and could be potential allies in the future? Jedi Alkalite 22. I don't know
Sure.
who those people are, so I am open to new people as long as they're decent people. Did you read the new Teen Titans from the 1980s? I hear it was more popular than X-Men.
Sure. X-Men didn't get popular till the 90s again. They were popular in the 60s, lost some steam in the 80s, and got it back in the 90s. Teen Titans, I have very, very, very few comic books. I was trying to collect the issue where Nightwing made his first appearance, meaning Robin turned into Nightwing, and I never could find it. I know which one it is now, but I don't think I'm going to get it. I didn't read much Teen Titans, just a few stories. It was all right.
So,
It's probably great. I just haven't read them all.
Captain Wilhelm 96 says, I actually have a dog named Cusco for the guy in the movie.
Cusco! It's fantastic.
I love it. I love the scene where I love the scene.
Sorcerer Rock's not almost gone.
I love the scene where they're getting ready to go over the waterfall. He's describing what's about to happen.
I love
Bring it on.
Rava. No, waterfall. Yes, probably Destiny Rock's gonna kill us at the bottom. Probably say, bring it on. Fantastic.
I love
That whole movie blew me away. It was so fantastic.
All right, Darth Revan says, many defender of the new canon say that the defeat of the Empire is great because it let more time to the Scenarists to force the focus. I'm assuming that's for the Senate. The Senate to focus on the Get Corrupted period. I'm not sure what he's saying here. What do you think? They think the same for RA. I don't know what that is. Something about the complete defeat of the Empire. I don't think that's realistic.
Are the Empire completely defeated?
I guess in the new canon it was.
I mean, isn't this new whatever? What do they call the new bad guy? Don't they carry the Imperial flag or a rendition of it?
Something like that.
I'm sorry, I can't answer that question.
I can't either. Who do you think was more superior when it came to strategy or coordinating an army in the EU, Thrawn or Revan?
You're going to hate me for this, but Thrawn. I'm sure a lot of people are going to say Revan, and you're fine giving Revan as an answer, but
both are
I would say
good.
Thrawn. What would you say?
I think it depends on what we're talking about.
He's talking about when it came to strategy.
Strategy or coordinating an army.
Oh, strategy or coordinating an army. Well, I mean, that's different then. Well, I don't know. I think he's asking for both. No, he's asking either or. Strategy, Thrawn, coordinating an army, Revan.
Revan, yeah.
If that's what you want. If you want us to choose Thrawn or Revan for both, I'm going to pull for Thrawn.
Yeah.
It could be Revan, though.
I think I would agree with that. And I also think Thrawn was better when it came to naval combat naval on the ground.
I agree.
So, what's next? Lots of opinions on who. For the expanded universe fan base, do you think George Lucas would want to hand off to the casino? I have no idea what that means. Yeah, Corran had a weakness. That's what makes him a good character. Many defended the weakness. Okay, that was the same question twice.
Oh, we're getting to the bottom. This is great.
Yeah. For now, until it loads more.
Oh, we're not.
I'm not seeing anything else jump out. Lots of comments on
good.
Debates.
Comments are good.
Debates on who would win between the two of them. Lots and lots of comments. Looks like we actually are at the bottom. Do you wish George Lucas kept the idea of Anakin fighting Mace Windu in Episode 3, or are you glad he removed it because of Anakin not being at Mace's level in the EU?
Wait, you missed one.
Did I miss one?
You're talking
Favorite
with Troy
Star-
Denning.
Oh, here they are. They're up here. It jumped.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Go up to the top. What's this first one? Do you think Qui-Gon, is that the first one? Do you think Qui-Gon ever, Breakout Squadron? Yes, Jedi Acolyte, Breakout Squadron, thank you. Do I think that Qui-Gon has ever appeared before Luke to give guidance for New Jedi Order? No. I think Qui-Gon went away once Obi-Wan's destiny was set.
In your talks with Troy Denning, did he ever explain where Anakin Solo put his plot armor before the strike mission? That's Dylan.
Go Houston.
That's the Dylan question. I didn't even need to look. I just saw the question and I knew who it was.
Excited for the Punisher Netflix series? I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. I really did like Iron Fist. I know people hated it, but it's actually one of my favorite ones. It could be my favorite. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's good.
Favorite prequel? Star Wars prequel specifically?
Oh my gosh. Well, Revenge of the Sith?
Episode 3 for me.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You have the cool. Okay, so that was back down to the Anakin fighting Mace Windu question. Do you wish George Lucas kept the idea of Anakin fighting Mace Windu in Episode 3, or are you glad he removed it because Anakin was not at Mace's level in the EU?
You know what? That's interesting. I think it would have been cool to see him fight because I think Mace Windu would have been shocked. You say he's not at his level and not in lightsaber duel.
Right.
No, he wasn't. However, Anakin was more than his match in the Force, and I think Mace Windu always thought, I can put you down, son. And it would have been interesting to see that. No, you can't. He's even more powerful than even Mace knows. I think that would have been nice. Now, what's done is done, but I think that actually would have been cool.
Yeah, no, I think that would have been an interesting fight.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad it didn't have like a deleted scene or something. That's a shame.
I don't think it made it past the draft, huh?
Probably not. In the EU, do you think Luke Skywalker has his capability to become a true Jedi Knight to defeat Abeloth? So I guess, do you think Luke Skywalker has the capacity to defeat Abeloth?
Yes. I mean, heck, he went toe-to-toe with her and broke a few ribs, and that was it, and beat her up. Yeah. So yes, I think, but he needs the dagger.
Worst Star Wars prequel.
Too. Attack of the Clones.
Yeah. Do you wish you gave Anakin trials to prove more that he was the chosen one, or to show the backstory of the prophecy?
Read it again.
Do you wish the EU gave Anakin trials to prove more that he was the chosen one, or show the backstory of the prophecy? He kind of had his trials.
Tartakovsky did a fantastic job with his finale. So I think that was good enough for me.
Yeah, I think that was sufficient.
And actually watching that a second time, the first time, I didn't like it.
Really?
I thought it was stupid and boring.
Really?
And the second time I realized I didn't catch the meaning of it.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
I thought it was pretty damn good.
It's great. No, it's great. No, I didn't see it right.
Right, the first time.
First time.
I've done things like that for other things in the EU, so I don't blame you. It wasn't Into the Void, though. Let's see. If it was Luke and not the Shelter, yeah. Okay, so if it was Luke and not the Shelter Jedi that became crazy and favored the Jedi, would the Jedi Order have been able to stop him? So basically, if the Jedi Order had to stop Luke instead of the other way around.
No.
I don't think it would have happened. I think
I would say done. No.
I think they would have been done.
Yeah.
Did you see the It movie?
Yes, fantastic. Better than the Tim Curry one, and I was prepared not to like it more than the Tim Curry one, but I did enjoy it.
Looks like we're basically at the end here.
Okay.
Do you have the Jedi Sith
all these
Bounty
questions
Hunter? These are all comments right here. Do you have the Jedi Sith Bounty Hunter and Imperial Handbooks?
No, I never got them because I don't believe they're part of Legends. It was never verified if they were or not. Plus the little scribble notes. Hey, Sky Guy, what's this? and Emperor Palpatine, this is something I must study for later. They wouldn't write in the book like that. I think that's so ridiculous. Now, to be honest, I never saw the Imperial Handbook, but I hear they're decent. Have you read any of these?
I have the Jedi one somewhere in here.
Where is it? I'll give an example from your.
I don't know where it is.
Is it on this bookshelf?
It would be on one of these shelves.
Oh, it's on one of these shelves.
One of them.
Oh. All right, what's the next question, Lauren?
While you're looking, what do you think happened to the Solo and Skywalker families that caused them to separate in the Legacy timeline?
No idea, but I'd love to find out.
That would be a great thing to explore.
If I'd have wrote it, I think the Skywalker line is decimated, and there's no one bearing the name Skywalker anymore. But there are descendants, but they're not Skywalkers anymore. I don't know what. No, I do know what caused the rift. What caused the rift is Ben and Jaina separate because of the Empire and the Republic. That's my idea. It's not here.
They're saying the handbooks have legends on the back. I don't.
Okay. Oh well. That doesn't mean anything now.
It's just anything.
That just means it's not canon.
I agree. If they all attacked at once, they could stop him. I'm assuming this is the New Jedi Order versus Luke.
I don't see it.
I'll see if I can find it later.
The place is a mess. Kidding.
This is a disaster. It's not organized the way you would organize it.
These things aren't even in chronological order. I'm kidding. Are they?
They should largely be.
Oh, they are.
For the most part.
What a pitiful collection.
Don't make me slap you, Matt.
I can't work under these conditions.
Favorite game console of all time?
Holy cow, that's actually a cool question. Brian?
Favorite game console of all time? I don't know, actually. I like a lot of them for different reasons. My first one that I really loved, of course, was the original Nintendo.
N64 was kind of cool for me.
That was actually a big deal.
I'm going to say N64.
That was one that I actually remembered playing with both my sisters. Wave Race 64 was one of the original games that came out with that. That was a Christmas present that my parents gave my sisters and I.
Okay.
And my parents actually played with us. My parents don't play video games. They played that one. What do you think of Warhammer 40K?
I think it's fine. I'm not into miniatures. He is.
I am, but I'm not into Warhammer 40K. I do know somebody who is, though. Constantly messing around, making and painting the figures.
Oh, I know him too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's great. I think it's a very expensive hobby. And I played Armada.
Yeah.
With you, which was fun. But usually I tend not to like miniature games. I have one called Tail Feathers, which I enjoy. And it's kind of miniature / board game.
Chris Nelson asks, what are your most unpopular opinions about the EU?
What are my most unpopular opinions? Well, Chris, or you mean like unpopular opinions?
I'm assuming something that differs from the popular opinion. So like where you differ from everybody else.
What?
That's what I'm assuming.
I mean, are you saying that what people...
So maybe something you liked that everybody else hated, or something everybody else liked? Or
there's tons of that. I've already talked about a few of them. I didn't like Matthew Stover's shoot, I need my collection. You guys don't understand how much
Episode 3,
No. The Mace Windu novel.
Oh, Shatterpoint.
Shatterpoint. I didn't like it. A lot of people did.
I thought it was okay.
And if you guys would have known me back in the day on StarWars.com, I was the naysayer and lost. I hated Karen Traviss. I was a Tal fan, according to her. But I just hated the story that a Jedi and a clone would fall in love and make a baby. Felt like cheap fan fiction.
I love that we're actually ahead of them. Like they're commenting after now.
Yeah, but anyway, that's what that's basically it.
I mean, there are probably plenty that I'm just not thinking of myself.
There's probably a few. I haven't gotten to a lot. I mean, you're trying to make me reveal something I haven't reviewed yet. I'm gonna save those.
Clever, Chris.
But there's a few. But no, there's a few more stories that people love that I didn't think were that big, and vice versa. I'm a huge Kevin J. Anderson fan. I haven't hid that fact, and people didn't really like him that much. So, I mean, you know, there's things that I love that people didn't like, and I'll get to those too. It's not all Kevin J. Anderson too.
What is the best way to organize your Star Wars shelf, and why is it chronological order?
And why is it?
Yeah, that's Dylan, of course.
I think it. Shut up, Dylan. Next question. No, I think it's the only way to do it.
Has there been a character in the EU you found as bad or worse than Jar Jar? Are we counting non-canon EU?
Ahsoka?
Ahsoka.
Kidding. Dylan, why aren't you here? You have jobs. Jeez, you should be here. I mean, you could be sitting right between us.
A nice buffer.
With your Houston Astros World Series championship hat.
You're just gonna drill him on that, aren't you? That's so mean.
I would buy him one too.
I know you would.
I would. Oh, by the way, Chris is a Dodger fan. Chris, I am sorry. Folks, I even called the Dodgers in 7, and I called it again at his house. This is back when the Dodgers were down 2 games. I told him exactly how it was going to go down.
You did?
And and I even called the game because she said, well, what? I said, well, Darvish's, you know, Dylan had talked about Darvish's ERA being so high.
Yep.
And I said, that doesn't matter because the moment they start getting hits, the manager's going to pull him. And he didn't.
Yep. He didn't.
I don't know why he didn't do that. I said he would be stupid to leave him in the game. And he left him in the game, and Houston won.
Yep.
That's not why they won. Dodgers sucked at the bats.
You can't if you can't score, you're not going to win. Do you think James Lucino, Drew Karpyshyn, Paul Kemp would make good authors for a series of the Rule of Two Sith? On the series on the Rule of Two
Yes,
Sith?
those are great Sith authors.
I
Yes.
completely agree on that. How come Heir of the Empire says that Coruscant has mountains? Why wouldn't it have mountains? You could just put city on top of mountains.
Yeah, remember there is the park because they wanted it to be like New York City Park.
Right.
And the
Minari Mountains, was it?
maybe I can't remember.
I have the guidebook up there somewhere.
I mean, it's okay because there were areas where there were land. Yes, it is a city planet. Now you find it. Hopefully that answers the question. Oh yeah, who checked out the book? That's stupid. Keep going. Keep answering.
All right, we got lots of people calling for Warrior for president. Warrior 2020. It's got to happen. We don't know who he's running with yet.
Yoda was a youngling. Ahsoka.
God.
Stupid.
Has it ever been explained what happened to Anakin's chopped off hand from Episode 2? Actually, it's like the whole arm, basically.
Yeah. Can we care? There's a war going on. Maybe everything with Ahsoka I hated.
That might have been a thing for you.
No kidding. Thing. Like a Jedi is gonna say no kidding.
Yeah, definitely wasn't meant for the more cognizant crowd.
Wait, hold on.
I mean, there's some decent stuff in there, but there's some stuff too.
Updated this section should be Yoda. So update it, old one. Dooku.
I know that you can order custom Funko Pop figures, so we could get Legends Funko figures. They did do the Shadow Guards. I know they did those.
Yeah.
But I'd rather see them actually, just make them on their own. That'd be nice.
I skipped Initiate, so can I skip Padawan too? I'm ready for the trials.
Wow.
Love, Anakin.
Ugh. And he read it in that voice. Okay? I hope that translated through YouTube well, because that was just god awful.
That's why this thing is garbage. And I'm skipping a bunch here. Who still plays Smash Ball? Ahsoka.
Is the horrible
The same people who deface public novels here that you rent out. You're not supposed to do. You should get fined.
That's right. Is the horrible holiday special canon in the EU?
I'm sorry, what?
The holiday special, is it canon in the EU?
Yes, actually it is. The council doesn't know everything I know about Smash Ball, Master Bori. And
Dylan's saying that he predicted it in Game 2.
Oh, anyway, Dylan's an Eeyore. Anyway,
The only real sport is Scorch. That's from Valerie.
oh, okay, that's true. All this Smash Bros. Is Dooku trash talking a Jedi who's been dead for hundreds of years. This is
Oh, good point, Valerie. There was that level. I forgot about that. There was a snow cap on Coruscant. There was actually a mission in the game Force Commander where you're liberating Coruscant that actually takes place on. Wasn't there also something like that in one of the X-Wing books where they're no, I might be mixing things up there.
these pages were already defaced when it came into my possession. I don't know who tried to suppress the prophecy, but it was most likely the Emperor Luke.
Yeah, that's what I was
The
thinking.
Emperor crossed all these out of the book so no one could read the next few pages. Oh, garbage. Garbage.
Oh, thank you, Valerie. I'm glad I'm not losing my mind on that. That there was something in the X-Wing books about their liberation of Coruscant with the mountains.
We caught up?
But yeah, we're basically caught up.
Snoopy, I know it's past midnight. I'm wrapping this up soon.
So looks like we are caught up.
We are caught up. Maybe we will wrap it up. Hey guys, thanks a lot. This has been a super amount of fun. Thank you, Brian, for hosting.
It's a lot of fun. Always.
Guys, sorry it was so late. Like I said, I'm on West Coast time, so I had to change it. But anyway, you've been wonderful. Have a nice night, and we will see you later.